Well, viewers. Shambolic Shuffling is back, and we're at the Haynes International Motor Museum in a place called Sparkford, which is near Yeovil, and it's time for some wonderful shambolic shuffling. Hope you'll enjoy it too. So I have official permission to actually film here, which is amazing. Thank you to Katie and the team here for allowing me to film here today. Shambolic Shuffles are very poorly edited. It's just me sort of stumbling around on my phone. I'll try not to fall over. If I get things wrong, if I get interrupted by background noise and all kinds of things, then that's just the way that it goes. But let's go in to have a look in here. I am not having a vaccination today. I am visiting the museum, so I shall be entering through the right-hand door. Here we are, and look, I've got a filming pass, viewers. I don't know why they've given that to me. I don't think they've really been looking too closely at what the shambolic shuffles actually are, because if they really knew, we might be in trouble. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. I remember these Mark 1 Lagunas. I remember them being in a British Touring Car Championship, and I remember Nescafe Blend 37. So this is a 1998 Renault Laguna BTTC Super Touring. Left-hand drive. A lot of the cars in the BTCC, even at that time, were left-hand drive. I like the colour of this, so I don't know particularly why it was this colour. Maybe answers in the comment section below. You've got quite a few sort of historic racing cars here. Oh, Jason Plato, yes, definitely heard of him. Including this this one here. We're not going to look too much at the racing side of things today, because I don't know anything about it, to be honest. There we go, 1998 Williams FW20 with some kind of Renault engine in it. This one looks a bit more modern. It's another Williams. It's an FW36 2014. I know nothing about Formula One viewers post about, I don't know, the year 2000. So, you know, here we are. There is a COVID vaccination centre going on actually at the moment here, which is why there's people with sort of hand sanitizer and things around. I think I'm going to need some lunch after I've been through the museum, but here is the entrance, and we shall go straight in. Excellent. What's behind these doors? Oh, hello. I think we better pause here, viewers, whilst that thing starts to tell me things. Okay, viewers, essentially right, viewers, we had a slight problem in there, and that film kind of just keeps playing. So we'll just go back in there in a second, and I just won't say anything. Hopefully, I'll just catch a time when that actually is going to be just playing. I might have to sort of not obey the one-way system rules, but we'll get back in there some other videos, because there are some interesting cars in there, and I'll just probably go silent and you can just see things. That's the way it goes on the Slightly Shambolic Shuffles, I'm afraid.
Just institution. You bought a car, the first thing you did is made a trip to Halfords and bought the Haynes manual for it. I had this big pile of oil-covered, well-used Haynes manuals, and they were a good friend in the garage.
John Harold Haynes was the founder of Haynes Manuals and of this museum. He was the schoolboy who loved cars and was able to forge a life that not only fed his interest and enthusiasm, but created a successful business that was appreciated by millions across the globe, as pointed out by his brother David, who worked with him.
Looking back in hindsight, it's just amazing that nobody else had thought of doing it the way that John thought of doing it. But this is what
so often happens. Why and how, he explained best himself in a 1996 interview.
I thought if I produced a little booklet on how to do my session, maybe 250 copies would sell out in nearly 3 months. I did just that, and it sold out in 10 days. And I was on my way punching lights. And how much would they price that? 5 shillings, 5 bob, you know what I mean?
In the 1960s, cars were relatively expensive and unreliable, and people needed friendly, accessible advice on maintenance and repairs. What started as a hobby that funded motor racing whilst in the RAF soon developed into more of a cottage industry, as my mother explains.
There were several columns for Haynes. The first one that I was involved with was a garage at the back of my parents-in-law's house in Yeovil. It was advertised as the motorist bookshop, so you had people running up and down the street trying to find a motorist bookshop. Of course, it wasn't one. It was all done out of my father-in-law's garage at the back of the house. John was doing the RAF, and he was doing this kind of work in between doing his shifts on the RAF. So it was done in between everything else.
My father also loved racing cars, and this got him into some quite serious scrapes.
Just before we were due to get married, 4 weeks in fact before we were due to get married, John had been racing also, but he managed to smash his 37 at Woodward, landed on his cockpit and rolled, and thank goodness they didn't have seatbelts in those days. It wasn't strapped in. I think I said to him when I saw him in hospital, lying in pain, I think I said to him, "You're not getting that marriage."
After they were married, my parents were posted to Avon, and without the challenge of motor racing, he soon managed to find some motoring-related activity that combined his passion for cars and publishing.
First I was, we lived in Aden, and friends split apart. Took the engine up 4 flights of stairs to our flat. We had 3 of our big muscular RAF friends carrying this engine up, and we stripped down the engine. I say we, it's John really, but my fingers are in there. In our back bedroom in our flat. I typeset it and edited it, and argued with John about what should go in and where it should go. On a proportional space electric ironing and typewriter. So it was quite exciting, and
Okay, viewers, as you can just see, I managed to get back in there. I don't recommend going round the wrong way in the museum. Don't do that, viewers. But very unusual for me just walking around not saying anything. I'm sure many of you would like me not to say things, but that's not the way we do things on the Shambolic Shuffles. So we're in the dawn of motoring era here, from 1885 to 1905. But here is an Albion News van from 1934. It's absolutely huge. Albion is not a make for which we're very familiar anymore, I don't think. Got a motorcycle here. I don't know what type it is. Oh, the Ormond motorcycle. It's made between 1900 and 1904. 1900 Clément Voiturette. I imagine that's, yeah, built in Paris. 1903 Darracq Type L 8 horsepower. Some very springy seats and some controls which look reasonably conventional on this little car. And here we go. Here is I think it's a replica Benz. This one. I'm not sure if it's a real one. I think it's probably a replica. Most of them actually are now. You see in museums. Fiery Liz. Fiery Liz looks quite dangerous. It's a Daimler. Sadly, the earliest days of Y99 have been lost in the mists of time. Mists of time, eh? Right. What have we got here? It looks like a Renault, and it is a Renault. It's a 1910 Type AX. No diamond logo yet or anything. And again, sort of levers and things and, you know, pedals look like the ones we use today, but they probably aren't, because a lot of them are not. Is this a Rolls Royce? Yes, it is. It's a Silver Ghost from 1922. A limousine. Let's see about the interior in this series. Let's take a little look, shall we? Yes, you can tell that if you're the chauffeur, you are not treated particularly well. Whereas in here, ooh, it looks tasty. Another Rolls Royce. This kind of looks similar to the ones, or two of them, used in the final series of the Avengers in 68, 69. Oh no, sorry, it's not a Rolls Royce, it's a Lanchester. Viewers, there is a reason why I call it the Shambolic Shuffles, because we get things wrong all the time. This one, however, is a Rolls Royce, 1930 Phantom 2 Sedanka de Ville. Again, if you're the chauffeur, it's not great for you, but in the back, very nice. Very nice indeed. This is the red room here. We'll go in a second. We'll just finish off this first section. A 2001 Manchester Special. 1 tank engine lorry chassis and stand back. This looks completely terrifying. Built in Chirk of all places. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't think I want to have a go in this. It might not end very well for me, viewers. So we won't do that. We will instead go and have a look at this star. I think these were made, yes, in Wolverhampton, 1926 Star Scorpio 1225. Is that a beige leather interior? If that's a beige leather interior, then we do like it very much. It's the first, I'm sure, of many. Yes, a Citroen Type C5V. Do they call this the torpedo because of the shape of the car? I don't know. Answer in the comment section below, viewers. Looks a bit different from the C5 Aircross, I must say. What's this? A Horseman? Built in Bath? Never heard of one of these, viewers. It's not too far from here. Again, they've got weird things on the floor and not sure what they do. It's a common theme amongst really early cars. But it's like a normal gear stick though, but where the actual handbrake is on this car, I don't know. Oh, it's a Rover. Oh, wonderful. 1922 Rover, 8 horsepower. Fantastic. We do like Rovers on this channel, viewers. And a 1919 Daimler Light 30 Phaeton. This looks like the kind of thing they used to do on a sort of Prince Henry trial or something. Really, really quite an attractive car. Be careful not to touch anything. I think this Daimler here is pilot exhibition. We're not supposed to go in there yet, but we just kind of have a look at this Daimler detachable top limousine. Detachable top? How many people does it take to detach the top of this? Crazy. And again, the chauffeur's got a really, really bad deal of it. He's exposed to all the weather and stuff. And there's only 2 pedals. And I proudly say that it was built in the great city of Coventry. It's still got that wavy grille on the top. Sadly, Daimler's not really with us anymore. Right, let's go into the next section. So here we are in the red room, where every single car in here is red, and a sports car. I remember when I came to this museum first in 1998, that was around then. I mean, the building's been completely remodeled. It was remodeled about 2014, so it doesn't resemble what it was like before, really. But we'll start off with a car that I've actually driven. A 1968 MG Midget. I drove an MG Midget from 1968, actually on the channel on Sensible Second-Hand Classics quite recently. Gosh, the lighting in here is interesting for filming, I must say. It's good for photography, it's just not so good for making videos with a phone, particularly. There we go, and there's the 4-speed gearbox. More red MGs here. This time a little bit older. 1946 MG TC and the 55 MG TF. This is a very late TF with the X-Pag. It's interesting. It says it's a 1250cc, but I thought it was a 1500 by then. But you know, I don't know these things, viewers. I'm sure they're right. Sort of grey leather in there. Everything in here is in absolutely amazing condition. It's perfect. You'd expect a place like this. 1930 Alfa Romeo 6C 1250 Gran Turismo, and it's right-hand drive too. Lots and lots of wood. Ooh, an Alfa Romeo 105 Series Coupe, 1967 Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint GT in right-hand drive. These were not common cars, viewers, at all in this country. It's introduced in 63. This is a 1.6 litre engine. There were lots of engines used in this particular shape. I have actually driven one of these. It was a GT Junior from 71, which had a 2000 engine in it. I did enjoy it, although the driving position, it's not brilliant in these, unfortunately. You sit down and then you realise you can't reach the gear lever in the best position, but you know, there we go, never mind. Oh, is that an Alpha Spider? You see this, it's a twin spark. I have driven actually an Alpha Spider on the channel of this generation. This is an earlier one, the one I drove. This is a 96, it's quite an early one. I drove a 2003 version of this on Sensible Secondhand Classics. Yes, typical Alfa Romeo, put the mirror adjuster right in the middle there. 1968 Alfa Romeo Spider Veloce with the 1800cc engine. Not quite in the sort of graduate era with this car, but we're not massively far off. Is that a painted dashboard in there? Interesting. I don't think they even classed that as a rear seat because, you know, you'd have to be somebody who didn't have any legs to get in there. Ooh, is that a Maserati Merak? 1982, so very late one then. And it's still got the buttresses. This is it's a real SS. I'm sure many of you will get the joke. Oh, is that a beige leather interior? I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers. Look at those buttresses. Also got another Alfa here. Yes, please. 1963 Alfa Romeo 2600 Spider. By Touring. Very nice. Oh, Lancia Flavia Cabriolet from 1966. There's one of these in an episode of the New Avengers called Cat Amongst the Pigeons. It appears right at the beginning of the episode. Usual sort of backlights. You can see even better in the mirror, actually. Oh, I do like Lancias, classic Lancias. Lovely. Look at this gear stick. It's amazing. Is it a right-hand handbrake or something? Can't quite see. Right, from Italy to Malvern and 1933 Morgan Super Sports. This one's been modified apparently and fitted with a 1.3 Jap engine. I think that's the way they used to say it. There we go, here's the Jap engine. This is a 65 Mustang. I'm afraid it's not a beige leather interior of it is, but it's not too far off. That's a 66 Mustang. I shouldn't talk about American cars because it always tends to go wrong for me, because I get all that sort of stuff wrong. Another American car here. 2000 Chevrolet Corvette C5. that a beige leather interior? Oh, I think it is, viewers. Very nice. It's a Dodge Viper, sold as a Chrysler Viper, I think, over here. They did sell them. This is a 1995, this is an RT10. Yes, it had a 10-cylinder engine. It's not a joke, viewers, it actually has a 10-cylinder engine. Crazy. Is that a Pontiac? Oh, it's a Pontiac Firebird Trans Am from 73. Similar to some earlier cars that were used in the Rockford files. Those tended to be, though, a different colours, like a sort of, I don't know, gold colour, and they were a Firebird, I think called the Esprit, rather than the Trans Am. Another classic MG here, 1960 MGA 1600 Roadster. It's one of the first classic cars I ever went in about 1992. Was an MG. I think it was a 1600 like this one. It's a pale blue colour. I've got a picture of it somewhere. All these reds up here. Very red. Ooh, 1968 Triumph Spitfire Mark III. The earlier Spitfires always did look a little bit unusual, I think. I mean, with the rear lights, it just sort of, kind of like they sort of spat out the lights and they sort of landed on the back end of the car. Again, lovely, lovely condition, this car. Really, really nice. Basically a similar structure to a Herald underneath, and the whole front of that bonnet just lifts straight up. Whole of it from there forward. So engine access is amazing. Oh, is this what I think it is? Oh, it is, viewers. Yes. An AC 428 for a convertible from 1972. Now, when they started production of the final series of the Avengers in 1967, they got rid of the Lotus Sedan that had been driven by Diana Rigg, and they supplied one of these, it's sort of dark maroon colour, LPH 800D, for Patrick Magneto to drive instead of his Bentley, which he didn't actually like. So instead they gave it to Linda Forston to drive in later episodes, but by the kind of middle of production, this car had sort of been replaced by some Lotuses. Big American engine in it. This one's an auto. Bit of a handful, I imagine, to drive those things. Right, we'll try to start this sort of circle and work our way around, shall we? 1969 Marcos GT. What engine's in this? Oh, it's a 3-litre Essex V6. It's not quite a beige leather interior, it's not too far off. There's a car like this, I think, in an episode of The Saint called the Wild Beater, which was the last one that they ever made. That was also filmed about 1968. Ginetta. I'm very bad with Ginetta's views. I'm going to have to look at the plaque and see. 1970 Ginetta G15. Another Morgan. This one's a 1980 Morgan Plus 8 with a 3.5 litre Rover V8. You can see all the subtly different shades of red in here. It's much easier in real life to tell the shades apart than it actually is on camera. 1965 Sunbeam Tiger. Basically an Alpine with a great big Ford V8 in it. This one I think has got a Surrey top on it. Almost a beige leather interior view. It's not too far off. Oh, a Turner. I've never seen a Turner in real life. 1959 Turner 950. Wow. Interesting. It's sort of based on an Austin A35. 1990 Caterham Super 7. Don't know what mark this will be. Who knows? I don't know. That looks like it might possibly be either a Vauxhall or Ford gearbox. What engine's in this? Oh, it's a 1275. That would be an A series then. with a 5-speed transmission. That's interesting. Just look at these switches. They're straight out of a sort of Mini from the 70s and things. I have been in one of these as a passenger, and it was absolutely insane. Completely crazy. You can get a wide-body one for gentlemen of slightly larger girth, which I think is probably advisable for most people. Ooh. So it's got a 66 plate on it. Is this an XKSS replica? Yes, it's an XKSS replica. Of course it is. An AC Ace. This was the car that the Cobra was based on, but they used AC's own engine as a 6-cylinder. And this might have a beige leather interior. I can't feel it because I'm not to touch anything, but that is very, very, very nice. Triumph TR3. This I think is probably TR5. We'll have a look in a second. Alvis, Daimler Dart. No idea what that is. Oh, it's a Mirandez. I don't have to say it properly. Marendaz, I think. Is that a Riley? Wow. Let's have a look at some information plaques, viewers, and then we know we're correct, and we look at those rather than me waffling on about nothing. 1934 Riley Brookton Special. Very nice. 1934 Mirandaz Special. I've heard of that. I've never seen one of these cars before. I think the name of the chap was Mr. Mirandaz. I think maybe a captain or something. Yeah, he was. And another Turner, a 2.2 litre, 1951. Yeah, it does look like a very early Ferrari, doesn't it? Certainly does. 1963 Daimler SP 250 Dart. I think this is the last. It's funny of production. I think we finished in 64. Yep, that's what it says. So it must be true. I think I should put back seats in this. Crazy. Fiberglass construction. It's one of the front-wheel drive Alvises. 1934 Alvis Speed 20. Synchromesh gearbox. Independent front suspension. Servo brakes. I like servo brakes. I don't like ones that are not. So I was wrong, just as usual. This isn't a TR5, it's a TR4A with the independent rear suspension. I do like that steering wheel. That is very nice. The thing is that underneath the TR3A, which this one is, it's from 57, and this are quite similar, but they look completely different because they had a complete restyling. I think 61 the TR4 came out, original one. Right, let's go over to the other side because we've done these ones. That's a Porsche 356. It's a very late one. 65 356 Coupe. Austin Healey 106, the predecessor to the 3000. Made at Abingdon because MG had a bit of spare capacity, and BMC and were in charge of both companies at the time. MGC, which I always get wrong, from 1969. And a Rochdale Olympic from 1968. I didn't realise they made the Olympic that late. But over it goes. It says they were actually made in Rochdale. That's why they were called Rochdales. They were made until 73 in very limited production. Interesting. What engine is that? It's Ford Cortina GT engine, 1.5. Yeah, it was sort of, I think it's Perspex or something, a rear window. Interesting. So I've just got a couple more over here. A Porsche Boxster, original type. I can't remember model code for those, I'm afraid, viewers. That's just the way it goes on these videos. 1998, so it's definitely the first generation with 2.5 litre. Ooh, a Jensen Healey. I'd love to drive one of these. Yeah, the 2 litre Lotus engine. They had a few problems with the Jensen Healey. Yeah, the design was flawed. That's a bit of an understatement, I'm afraid. It didn't go well for them. Ooh, 1972 Datsun 240Z. I think those mirrors on the side are non-original to the car, as far as I know. There's a samurai in it. Someone's obviously customised this one a little bit. I've driven a 260Z. That's actually on True Jacket Reviews on the channel. I haven't actually driven a 240Z. I did enjoy the 260Z though. That was brilliant. And a very early Unos Roadster that we got in this country is the MX-5, but there's loads of Unoses around. So let's just finish off the red room by having a look at these two cars here. Countach and a Gordon Keeble. I really like Gordon Keebles because they were actually made for a time in Southampton. So they had a production facility in Sholing and one in Eastleigh, although the very early Gordon Keebles were made in Slough. This one I think has been sort of de-chromed or something. I'm sure this is how they originally would have come, because I've seen quite a few of these. And, oh, viewers, it's got a lovely beige leather interior. Of course it does. So yeah, we live about a mile and a half from where these cars were made, which is actually the facility at what used to be called Eastleigh Airport. Very limited production. They only made 100 and something cars. I think these rear lights are actually off a P6, something like that. Don't quote me, viewers. I do like that. Like it very much. And we'll finish on this Lamborghini Countach S. We're going to have to split this up into multiple parts, viewers, because there is a lot to see at this museum, and I won't be able to get around all of it just in one video. 81 Countach LP400S. So thank you ever so much indeed for watching this first part of a slightly shambolic shuffle around the Haynes International Motor Museum. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and leave a comment below. And I'll see you again very shortly in part 2.